So then, people, it's been a little while since you've seen me on your screens. It's coming up to a week. It's currently Sunday. You haven't seen me since Monday. Who else has just felt like this week's gone by so quickly? I mean, we had the Carabao Cup semi-finals. Arsenal obviously will be playing at Wembley. Um, you've got Manchester City beating Newcastle. So yeah, it's quite a lot. Quite a lot has happened this week. I myself, over the last couple of days, have has actually gained a cold, so I don't feel particularly great. And I probably don't sound particularly great either compared to normal. However, we're here. We're gonna keep going, and I want to talk about Arsenal against Sunderland. Arsenal winning 3-0. Zubimendi and Gyokeres getting the goals, and yeah, it's the performance that we want to see, and it's something that has been building up over the last couple of weeks. We've seen Arsenal put goals past Leeds and Kairat and Inter Milan, and now Sunderland in the latest to come to the Emirates and get a thrashing. In the end, the scoreline says so anyway. Um, However, I do feel as if the scoreline. I do feel as if the scoreline didn't really. I don't think it really showed the full story of the game, to be honest, because I felt like Sunderland gave us a good little battle there, a good game. So I think in the first half there were a couple of poorer performances, a few lazy performances. I think Brian Brobby got the better of William Saliba on a couple of times. Calafiori looked a little bit off it at times as well. I'm sure he'd agree. Um, I think Madueke has probably got to start to be doing more, coming in for Saka. Although we don't miss Saka now, we're not as heavily reliant on him. Yeah, I don't think Madueke's the same level as Saka, obviously, but he's got all the gear, Madueke, to go and do great things. But he'll run past defenders like they're nothing, and then the final end product just isn't there for him at the minute, which is a bit of a shame because I do feel as if Madueke had a bit of end product in him, he'd be one of the best wingers in the league. Um, but it's just a shame that he's got all the gear to do well, and yeah, it's just a little bit disappointing. From the get-go, I wanted Ben White to start. I really did feel as if he'd be an answer. Well, I say an answer. He'd be someone who could benefit Arsenal having him on the pitch. I thought he'd bring a presence, but Timber started at right back, which obviously I'm not against. Timber's one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league, one of the best in the world. So I don't have a problem with Timber there starting there, and I thought he was superb. Thought he was great. Standard during Timber, to be honest with you. Declan Rice and Zubimendi. I mean, what can we say? I think I'm running out of words to say about Declan Rice and Zubimendi. It really did take me a little while to get to grips with Zubimendi. I felt like he started off quite slowly, and I still do think, he can have the off game and make little errors like he did against Manchester United. However, when he's on it, he he is good, and it's the same with Declan Rice, who seems to be on it every week now, getting better and better. Yeah, I'm running out of words to describe how good Declan Rice is. Definitely the best midfielder in the league. And then if we look a little bit further ahead of those two, we're starting to see a change in the system from Arteta. I feel look that way anyway, because since Kai Havertz has come in for the captain Martin Odegaard, we've definitely looked better. I think we've looked more threatening. Not to say that we didn't when he came on against Leeds, because I feel like when Martin Odegaard came on against Leeds, he was good. However, from the start of games, especially recently, Kai Havertz has come into the team, and why would you drop him? I feel like he's come into the team and done such a good job. There's no need to drop him at the minute. Eze came off the bench in the second half, and I really like Eze, but he's got to be doing a bit more, in my opinion. And I really do like Eze, so hopefully he can. I want to see him starting on the wing for us, on left wing. I want to see Eze given a go there again. But Kai Havertz, for me, he's been brilliant. He's been brilliant over the last few games. Leandro Trossard provided an assist for Zubimendi's goal. Um, I thought he looked a threat, to be honest with you. I thought he looked good going down the left-hand side. He's been going a little bit quiet over the last few weeks, but it's good to see that he's back getting the GA with an assist there for Zubimendi's goal. And then Gabriel Jesus. He won a penalty, but he was offside. Look, for me, right, Gabriel Jesus, coming back from a long time out, nearly a whole calendar year out injured. I think coming back into the team, he was always going to struggle a little bit. However, he has now started 2 games in the Premier League this season, and he was poor in both of them, got hooked after an hour in both of them. Before the hour mark against Manchester United and on 60 minutes yesterday. And then Victor Gyokeres took his place, and, well, what can you say? Sorry, people, if I keep pausing the recording. I said I've got this cold. I'm sneezing. It's not great, to be honest with you. It's a bit nasty. Wow, I really hope this cold gets sorted out. But I can't even remember what I was. I think I was talking about Gyokeres. Sorry, people. I think I was talking about Gyokeres. I'm just going to talk about him anyway. The number 14, the 14th cannon. I'm going to praise our number 14 because when he came on, I thought he was good. He got within the goals, which is exactly what we signed him for. And if he continues at this rate, he's got 8 goals and assists in his last 8 games. Then yes, I was heavily. I say heavily. I think it was fair criticism, to be honest with you, over the last few weeks on Victor Gyokeres, but since the calendar year has changed, since we've come into 2026, by the click of a finger, he started getting within the goals, which is exactly what we signed him for. So I can't complain about Victor Gyokeres, can I? Well done, Victor, mate. Yeah, I thought when you came on, you did well. Getting within the goals. Other subs, Martinelli came on and looked good. Hincapié came on for Calafiori, which is surprising. Calafiori had a little bit of an off day. Eberechi Eze came on, and as I said, I do really like Eze. He's one of my favourite players, but he's got to be doing more. And I want to see, all of the fans that have come out recently and criticised the captain for not producing in that position when starting games and not making an impact when playing as a 10. I want to see the same energy for Eze. As I said, Eze is one of my favourite players, but I really do feel as if he's got to do more. So I want to see that energy used on Eze. He's got to come to the team at some point and be given a run of games, because I feel like once he's got a few games under his belt, he will provide these moments. But as for now, off the bench, when was the last time he made an impact coming off the bench? Because I don't remember it. I feel like Eze is the kind of player who you've got to be given. You've got to give him a chance from the get go. When he started against Kairat, he looked very good. When he plays for England, he looks good. And all of those appearances are from the start. So I want to see Eze given a go from the start. I think we've got Brentford on Thursday. I want to see Eze start in that game. Because I think if you give him a go, he's more likely to make an impact when starting a game and look promising when starting a game. So, yeah. People will say that, he's holding bench right now, and he should be, because, he's not being good enough. But I want to see Eze given a go from the start. And then the last sub, Christian Nagel. Uncle Christian came on. Yeah. Even if Christian Nagel leaves this summer, he'd have my respect. He came on for an injured Leandro Trossard, so hopefully, the extent of that injury isn't too bad. But as I was talking about Norgard, even if he leaves in the summer, he came in and straight away there was a video of him and his son wearing the Arsenal kit with his name on the back, and it just starts crying. That's how much Arsenal means to some of these players. So I really hope Norgard. I want him to get some more minutes over the next couple of weeks. We've got Wigan in the FA Cup next week. I'll be going to that game. I want to see players like Norgard and definitely players like Eze and Lewis Skelly given a go. We've then got Wolves during the week after Wigan. So again, Wolves, they're having a terrible season, albeit it's away from home, but you're probably looking at that game and saying you could probably get away with rotating a little bit. Then we've got the North London derby, followed up by Chelsea. There's currently no game scheduled between those two, so we get a nice week off, which I think not only do Arsenal need that, but I think the pitch needs that as well at the Emirates Stadium. A good week or two off, because the wet weather in London has been shocking. The wet weather all across England has not been very nice. So, yes, I think the Emirates needs a break, to be honest with you. Just look at the pitch, the state of it yesterday. The 6-yard box. Obviously, there's been a lot of football played at the Emirates recently. Quite a lot of home games for us, including the Champions League, the Carabao Cup semi-final, as I said, the Premier League. And then the women's have been playing there as well. They had the cup final there and stuff like that. League games. I've got another one that kicks off in about 15 minutes. So, yeah, for me, people, that's where I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for tuning in. I might drop some content tomorrow. I've been making a lot of content on Mondays in particular, so I might keep that going. But, yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. And, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much.